Hey everybody, it's Jeff Horton, Jeff Horton Band. I wanted to take just a minute and talk to you about some quick and easy guitar mods. They're things that I do to pretty much all of mine, and it's the cheapest way to make major changes to your guitar sound. So if you've been playing guitar and you've never really worked on your guitar or thought about having any work done, or maybe all you've ever had done is just change pickups, you know, either you did it or you took it to a tech and they changed pickups. There's so much more you can do with your guitar, especially if you've got one and you think, man, it sounds okay, but it's just not there. This is a 2001 Fender Custom Shop 1961 Relic Strat. It's got the original pickups in it, and it sounds amazing, but the tone knobs sucked because they put cheap parts, even on some of the nicer ones. Now some of the newer custom shops are not that way, but on this one it had a cheap capacitor in it, and I am a huge fan of, and you see me write about it a lot if you follow my page, but oil and paper caps. It's the only way to go for me. There's a lot of people out there that like orange drops, and orange drops aren't bad either, but that real vintage sound, it's very organic. When these guitars were first being made, and they weren't owned, the guitar companies weren't owned by corporations that just looked at the bottom line, they put quality parts in them, and that's why, part of why, the vintage guitars are so sought after, so much so that they now make remakes of them. So go online, you can go to StewMac, you can go to almost any of your dealers, Sweetwater, Musician's Friend. If you live local to the Northwest Arkansas area, I highly recommend that you go to Arkansas Music Works in Bentonville. They can get you anything. But I like Emerson or Mojo Tone oil and paper caps. It's a $9 or $10 part. On my Strats, I only have one wired in, and it's wired between both tone controls. And then you can also get a treble bleed, which I use. And treble bleeds are, to me, what my ear hears and the name of the product, they don't really go together. I mean, I guess they do, but for me, a treble bleed does two things. The main thing it's supposed to do is, while you're playing, as you start turning your guitar volume down, you don't lose any tone. You don't lose any of your low end. They call it a treble bleed. To me, it would be more like a bass keeper, because when I would turn down my volume knob before those, it seemed like my bottom end just disappeared. With treble bleed, the whole roll of the knob, you have your sound in its entirety without losing anything. And that's a great addition. Now, I said it does two things. The other thing it does, and again, this is just to my ear, the other thing it does is it seems to, if you'd understand the analogy, if any of you guys are car guys, it's like taking a V8 engine that's running on a 2-barrel carburetor and putting a 4-barrel on it. It's not a supercharger, but it's a 4-barrel. And now it seems to open the pickups up or allow them to work at full capacity when it's wide open. And I've noticed all my guitars get a change in their sound once that's wired in. So that's two things. The treble bleed's probably a $12, $15 part. The caps are probably $8 to $10, right in that range somewhere. So for less than $30, you can do a couple of things on a Strat underneath the pick guard, on a Gibson in the cavity, that will really make that good. If you like the way it feels and plays and you just want to do something about the sound, those are the first two things I would suggest to anybody. Make those changes. I've heard people over and over, oh, I don't use my tone knobs. I didn't either. I've been playing for over 30 years. I came across oil and paper caps probably 6 or 8 years ago, And since then, they've gone in every guitar, and I now find myself using tone knobs in ways that I never would have thought I would be using before. So that's some things to do on a Strat, or that I do on a Strat. Another thing to do is bone nut. There's a saying, the tone's in the bone. So, or the bone is the tone, depending on which way you want to roll with that. But bone nuts I highly recommend too. And that's a fairly cheap part. It's not something you want to take on yourself if you've never done it before. Go to a luthier and let them do it for you. Or you're going to go through a lot of blanks. Now with Gibson's, this is a custom shop historic 57 reissue, gold top obviously. And this is the guitar that turned me on to oil and paper cabs, because this guitar was built just like they built them in 57, and it came with those. And it was through it coming with those and then messing around at a rehearsal one night where I rolled the neck tone control off that I discovered what is known as Clapton's woman tone that was used on Cream, used on While My Guitar Gently Weeps with the Beatles. So that's where that sound comes from, and I guarantee you're not going to get that sound in your tone controls from anything other than an oil and paper cab. I've tried. So, those are just a couple of easy little things that you can do. If you're good at soldering and you feel that you can take it on yourself, more power to you. If not, go to one of these places with the tech. Again, if you live in the Northwest Arkansas area, not too far away, go down and talk to the guys at Arkansas Music Works, and they'll take care of you. They can get you the parts, and they can get them installed for you. So, anyways, just a couple of quick little things. Those are questions that come up a lot, either amongst other guitar player friends of mine, stuff that I've read online, or when I'm out playing shows and people ask me questions about my stuff. So, I hope it helped. I hope you found it informative. Give me a like if you would, and keep the blues alive. Thanks, y'all.